Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. What's up?
How are you?
And I gotta get something really quick. Hold on.
Yeah, no worries. I'm doing something on here too.
What the heck is this? Oh my god. Sorry. Just grabbing a snack. What's new?
I don't even know. Should we start with geography?
Yeah, I have a couple of things bookmarked from this. There's some space.
Okay.
This giant book.
Oh yeah, you got all those cool books.
Yeah, look at this. Like ancient Ireland, Celtic
Ooh,
history stuff.
that's cool.
Yeah, lots of good finds. The Book of Kells too, like it's sort of like a this has been helpful just like to understand like what monks were up to, you know, like
Totally.
it's definitely a totally different time period, but just I don't know, it includes like a lot of like details of everyday life and stuff.
That's cool. I found another book called The Secret Middle Ages by Malcolm Jones. I'm trying to find a link anywhere. What happened to Library Genesis?
Oh yeah.
This is so sad. I don't want to
Everything
buy
is so
it.
hard to access these days. Like even JSTOR, like even with an account with JSTOR and stuff, like things are trapped.
Yeah, it's so weird. Man, I'm gonna have to order it, but it's by a retired professor from the University of Sheffield, and it's about the lives of like the average people from like the 1200s to the 1500s.
That's awesome.
And it has like a very specific stuff because it came up. I told you I've been looking into bathhouses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
trying to figure out, because some of the illustrations, like it looks like ladies are in rivers and ponds, but others are clearly structures.
Right. So I have a theory. So from what I've translated, I haven't translated anything that's like related to sweating or like bathhouses. I know other people have had that theory just by looking at it. It does look like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're actual literal bathhouses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if like, because I looked into the Irish ones that you sent me,
Mm-hmm.
and those have been around for like centuries, and
yeah, super early.
they're right near rivers and streams and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure if like bathhouses are like directly referenced, if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
vats and tubs, the word vat, I've translated the word vat, I've translated the word tub before, but in different sections. So, but yeah, I think that.
Well, it came up because one of the new locations that you mentioned it had like a bunch of possibilities, but it was like Atris or Aris, and I found a couple different ones. The most promising one is Arras, Arras.
Okay.
And that's in the north of France.
Let me pull up my map.
And I had to dig to find pictures of it because in the World Wars it got pretty much just destroyed.
Yeah.
But I was able to look at pictures of it, and it looks a lot like that Port Isle, like that port type city. It's really cool. And I found it listed on a database of old bathhouses.
Okay.
But I found it is a really cool city actually. And it says it was the last Gallic town to fall to Caesar.
Okay. So there would have been not like cross-cultural knowledge there too.
Yeah.
Okay,
and it's like right along the English Channel, or like close to it. Sorry if you can hear me.
Was this the one from up top or the original lower?
I think up top.
Start with A on the top and bottom. Okay. The up top one. Okay. So the up top ones I'm less sure about than the rest of them.
Yeah, and that's why I found as many phonetic possibilities.
To go to the. Okay. Let me just visually look what the word looks like to see if it fits. Into full screen.
There's a little bit of remaining architecture too that you can see still from it that looks sort of like reminiscent to things that we see. It became known for
the top one, the top list, the ones that I emailed you as possibilities for the top.
Yeah.
How is it spelled?
The way you sent it to me or what I found?
What you found. How is it spelled?
So I have Arras, but I have another possibility too that fits.
Okay. No, that wouldn't be from the top list. I'm wondering if it's one that I sent you as possibility for something at the bottom.
There are a lot of phonetic possibilities that fit geographically. In general, I have a lot that I have like 2 or 3 possible ones for.
So there's one at the top. The first one is at the bottom. I think I have it listed as number 1.
Okay.
It's A, Fada, what could be an S. But I think I have that one translated as A, so AICH, because the S could be a CH there.
Oh, the Ike one. I have other possibilities for that one too.
Yeah, that one is super vague because it's only three characters, and two of those characters, actually all three of those characters have like ifs to them, like in terms of like possibilities.
Well, so I know that we have an exact match for Ike already, but
Right.
in terms of what I'm finding around it, it doesn't seem to fit as well with the other areas that we have.
It doesn't, yeah.
But
And it could be ALS, ALS.
So I was able to find
ALS.
AUCH,
Mm,
AUK.
AUCH, that could be.
I think that's in France. I might be wrong.
I'm just wondering about the RS place. There's no. So there's the two ones that I think that the one that I think that you were looking at is the one that I sent you for Atrice.
Yes.
Which is, it does have the T pretty. The T is pretty like there.
Okay, because I also have Atri as a place that fits
Atri,
that
okay.
too, and that's in Italy.
That seems more likely in terms of what I'm visually looking at. Like the T is definitely there. If it were a TH, occasionally the TH is like a sound, which is silent. This is like not a TH, it's a T. So I feel like it would be unlikely that it would be silent.
Okay, cool. So
Or I mean, sometimes the ah is like inflection. So it could be trius or triish, trius, a triish.
Okay.
A trisk, a trisk, a trisk. All of these are possibilities for that one word.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So I can look into more for that one. So Auk.
Oh, there's also Atin. Atin.
Well, that one was so close to Atina. Do you think it's two different locations?
For this one, I can show you. It looks like a total typo. The T is blended with the O. It's the second one at the top. So it's like,
okay.
It's like someone went back over and corrected it. Or it's just the O and the T are combined and it kind of makes like a weird shape. I can show you. It looks like a typo. So it looks to me like ATIN.
Okay.
Or ATAN.
I wonder if because down below we have Atina listed, if maybe they accidentally were starting to put it twice.
How they look for Atina. How Atina is different. Yeah, they look the same, except one looks like it has a typo. I can show you. So counting, all right, so the bottom, if you're looking at are you looking at the map?
Yeah.
So counting like from the bottom up, number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is Atin on the bottom list.
Okay.
And then if we're counting 1 starting left to right, number 2 is the other Atin on the top. And they're spelled and look the same, but one looks like it has a typo and it's blended with the A.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. So I think for now we can assume that they accidentally put it twice. They look so similar.
Yeah, I think the top one just has a typo. It just, everything seems like pretty intentional. So when there is something like that, I'm always like, oh, did they try to clarify something by going back over? Because the person went back over those 2 lines. Like, it's not like they just like made a typo and kept going.
Yeah.
We went back over.
I can try and find more.
Maybe ATAN, because it is a shorter T too. The T at the bottom is longer.
Oh,
Also,
boy.
sound-wise, the IN, that last character,
Mhm.
for words that are not within the standard language here, like words that are like cities in other countries with other etymologies, that letter will be used as like an E sound, like a like in Tripoli, for example. Tripoli has that at the end, even though
Okay.
it doesn't have an N, because you wouldn't end a word with a double E, which is the EE sound.
I wonder if
Makes
it's a place that like wouldn't translate easily through language, like multiple languages, if there has like different sounds.
Yeah. I think that like the standardization leans Irish, if that makes sense. So they would want to stay consistent with the rules of like this form of Ogham Irish, which doesn't really have like vowels ending words in the same way. So like you would never see an EE at the end of a word. But for that same sound, I would put the G letter, which is in, and
Right. Let's look more at T. Because there's so many like fictional fantasy places called Atan and Aten and Atin. I'm getting lots of Star Wars.
Yeah. It's just
There's a dance in Afghanistan. Atan.
I feel like with some of these, I feel like it can so easily be other things, but some are so exact that it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was easy to find exact ones for Hadol, Hadol.
Which one?
It was one of the ones that you sent me for the top, and you had it as Hadol, and I have a place in France.
So H isn't really a word or a letter, sorry. Hodl. Oh, I found it. Okay. So H in French is silent. It's just Adl, and that's exactly what is written. So it's ADO Fada L.
Perfect. Because
that one's exact.
Easy. Yeah.
And that's phonetic. So the person would be hearing people saying Adal in French. It's pronounced Adal, but they wouldn't be reading it with an H. There's no reason for them to have put an H there. But in France, they would have put an H. Do you know what I mean?
And it, like, geographically, it fits along, like, if someone's traveling along the border of Western France. Like, if you're going from, I don't know how to pronounce any of these, but the Douane, is that the first one?
Yeah.
And then you sort of travel along the border, and then you hit Fading, and then you keep going, and then you would hit Adol. It's not exact, but you can definitely start to see a path.
To me, honestly, like after reading about the Franciscan schooling that you sent me,
yeah,
to me, this sounds like a thesis for a student that has gone through the second round, basically like the 10-year program
Totally.
of monasteries. This is like their final show, and they probably traveled to all these places, and then they have
Yeah.
like depictions of what they accumulated along the way. And I just wanted to say, like, for someone that's like language oriented, to be around coastal cities with a bunch of different languages, like,
Yeah.
this just like makes so much sense to me. And the sort of like the fact that this mod or whatever was like insinuating schizophrenia, like
Yeah.
make the idea of like making too many connections, so to speak, like I have my own thoughts about, psychiatry and all of that, but the person that made this was clearly making so many different connections, and it's not
Yeah.
necessarily a mental illness, and to basically like shut people out of the conversation that make a lot of connections, like regardless of diagnoses or whatever. That's probably why this hasn't been translated.
Yeah.
To me, like auditorily, like being in, like, I've lived in France, I like have traveled, I speak French, I speak some Spanish, I've worked in like multilingual environments. Like, you take in so many different sounds and
Yeah.
understandings, and sometimes you don't understand what is actually being said, but you understand what's being said. Like, there are so many ways to perceive information. And to me, like, someone traveling along the coastline and trying to um, like trade knowledge would want to speak on sort of a level that multiple people could understand simultaneously.
And they were largely multilingual because they were often serving as translators. So
Right,
they were able to communicate with a lot, and like governments would utilize them to do it too,
right.
which is cool. There's record of it happening in Crete, I think I found.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And it's not, I feel like it wasn't just, the monasteries and the monks, it was also like merchants as well.
Yeah, definitely. It feels like such a mix of like religion and then like average craftspeople and
Right.
artisans and fishermen and stuff.
And yeah, like the book that I was telling you about fisheries in like the 1400s in Ireland, it's
Mhm.
been really helpful because like there was a bunch of sort of political and like merchant disputes and like financial things going on in that area. And there was so many people coming in and out too. Like, I think I told you there was like Spanish like royalty at one point. There were like, um, different people
I'm so
doing.
sorry. Ophelia's wailing outside the door.
But yeah, there was like so much like cross cultural things
Yeah.
happening. But yeah,
And
it's
I
just
think I've found, I'll need to look through all my notes, but I'll send it to you if I can find it. There was a paper about Irish Franciscans and fishing because they were pescatarian and they
ah,
contributed a lot to the fishing in
yeah.
Ireland because it was such a large part of their diet.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I remember it just being fascinating that they were
That
involved
makes
with
sense.
the fishing.
That makes sense.
Okay. What were we doing?
And
Oh,
also
okay.
the um like fish, like specifically like the word shoal,
Mm,
like a group of fish that comes up in like several sections, including the astrological section.
right. That's
Yeah.
cool. Oh gosh.
There's like an overlap there.
Mm.
And people also don't realize that Irish came before English. So
Yeah.
like as a language, like that is the oldest, but also went through like a period of stagnation where there wasn't like any evolution because of colonization. It puts it at a really weird, if you think about language as time, as something that is changed
Yeah,
by people influencing it, like it's relative. It's super, like language is super relative in the same way that like time is relative. Like
totally.
Irish does exist in a very weird time zone because it is the oldest, like one of the oldest languages, but it's also had a period of like stagnation. So like it does produce this sort of like psychedelic effect for people looking in a linguistic way. And in fact, I think it makes like it encourages probably some unhealthy like thinking, possibly like magical thinking. I think it encourages that, like, and some of the people that are experts are also magical thinking, whether they like to admit that or not. Like no matter how structured their approach is, I think some of them are leaning towards magical thinking, and that's why I'm receiving like a lot of aggression with this.
Yeah, totally.
Sorry to bring it back to that, but
No, you're fine. You're right. I guess I'll keep going with the exact phonetic matches that I have for now,
okay.
because we have I have an exact for breadinge,
Right. Let me just
but it extends our map.
the reference to that one port in Turkey was crazy, which we should come back to, but we should
That
stick
is
to this
crazy.
right now. But
Well, so breadinge is all the way Sweden.
let me just see. This is the top list or the bottom?
I think top.
Yeah. So this word also has possibilities. This is also like the phonetic equivalent to one of the most common words in the manuscript, which is the word for cloth or homespun cloth. It's spelled and looks very similar to that, Breton. Except this could also be Britain, Breton. It would be similar to that word. So I'm just wondering if it's not a place. There are distinctions to this. Like it doesn't look like how it's normally written, but it's like phonetically very similar to that. So like what I'm seeing is Breton, Britain, Britain, Breton, Britty, Britty, Bretty.
Because I think you had sent Bredinge, and I have that's an exact place, but it
is okay.
Yeah.
So that would be Britting. Maybe the person was pronouncing it Britting. Wait, is it in France?
No, it's in Sweden.
Sweden. How do they
And
pronounce?
it's an island.
Wait, can you look? Can you play an audio clip of how it's pronounced?
Maybe. No, I don't need help pronouncing Sweden.
Do you know that guy that does, or the YouTube that pronounces everything wrong? That's my favorite. He's like, it's like how to pronounce Nietzsche, and it's like Nietzsche, Nietzsche. It's so funny.
It looks like the closest would be like breeding, but it could be like a rolled R. And the emphasis would be on the first syllable. So like breeding. Breeding.
That could work. I mean, is it breeding?
I think so. The closest English approximation.
I mean, it's close. It's not exact to what is written, but it's close.
And it's weird geographically.
If it's weird geographically, it might not be that.
It's not super far off because we have some like Austrian and German possibilities, but it's And it is along the water, so it's not impossible. But you had another one up the top that I
Well,
think you said you weren't positive about. That was
yeah,
like,
well, really quickly, the Breton, what I'm noticing that sticks out that's different from like how a word would be is that like the 8 symbol, which is normally a DDH, is slightly pointy and it's not closed, which is not consistent with the rest of them. I also noticed that like the BR, instead of having a full loop at the top, it's not a full loop. So I'm wondering if there's like extra sounds in here that I'm not like that they were trying to specify.
right.
Because like with these words, they're not written like the rest of the text fully. They're like have like just like pattern wise, they're clearly places and not words. They're clearly like it's like as if you were to see like Mississippi in a text that's just writing about, you know,
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z, you would know that that's a place. In the same way, like I know that these are places, but this is not. This is written like the word Breton should be like. It's
written the way it would be
the
pronounced.
same characters, but it's written differently. Like the characters are all slightly different.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look consistent with the rest of the language. And I also noticed that the last letter, the last character, which is the INENANN sound wise, is pointed and it's not closed. So it does look significantly different than like all the characters look significantly different than like how they normally look. And you can even compare too. So like look at the if you pull it up, it's number 1, 2, 3, 4 up top. If you look at the last character and the last character of number 2, they should look the same, but they don't.
Huh. I see what you're talking about.
And then if you look at so and then yeah, like look directly above it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, Britain, what we're looking at, that one number 4.
Yeah.
You just look at 12 o'clock. That's another example of what it should look like.
Oh yeah.
That like G, it looks like an English G. It just doesn't look closed. It looks pointier. It looks weirder. And then if you look at, I'm gonna try to find a BR. If you look, so if you look at the line of words, so 1, 2, 3, 3 to the left. Okay. There's a BR. And see how it's like swoopy and it looks like a curve and how it doesn't look the same.
I can't believe you spend so much time looking at these that they actually have meaning to you. I'm just looking at nonsense.
I still feel gaslit though. Like a lot of the time, though, like one person commented on a different video that was like about the Voynich being like, people's brains are incredible and will like make a whole language. And I'm like, did I just make all this up? But it's just like I always have to go back to the plants. Like I have to go back to the plants. But, like those taxonomies are so specific that I'm just like,
well, the only reason that I'm still considering the Sweden as a possibility is because if you look at the way that we have the map established right now, if you're going from the location in Ireland all the way down to the one that we have in Crete, it's sort of like a line like this way.
Okay.
And then if you take the other exact that I have for Otogo, that is all the way down in the Canary Islands, like off the coast of Morocco. So it forms like a huge X, but it does form it.
Okay.
With the central points being like Italy, France.
Really quickly, are you looking at the map right now?
Yeah.
So some of these places I think are referential to ideas, or someone is carrying that information and bringing it over.
Yeah.
Just because the Black Sea is like nowhere near anything, but that port came up, or there's a possibility of that linked cord line being linked to Portus Cardinal or Cordal.
Yeah. I mean, it's not super far from Crete.
Yeah, but it has like a bunch of historical.
Yeah.
The person would have heard of it.
Right.
Like if they're studying like Plato and all this stuff within an Irish monastery, they would have heard of places like Portus Cordal, for example.
Mm-hmm.
They would have heard of like or like if they're making the initial like the cartography map, if they're actually making that route,
Mm-hmm.
these could have been stories that were told to them.
Totally. Or
And
it could be like people from these places
right
moving, because it was so cool when we found how it said all these people were fleeing to Ireland from the barbarians. And then their books are what created the foundation for all the monastic libraries.
And it's a blend. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Wait, that brings up something really quickly that I wanted to show you. So this is something that has been mentioned in translation that is not exact either, where I'm not sure if they're actually referring to this. This is like the 116 page that's like the blended language.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of the Fomorians.
The
Do you
what?
know Fomorians? So
No.
let me I just bookmarked this. Hold on. Where did I go? Okay. So do you know the Tuatha Danann? This is like mythological Christian, like
Maybe.
like okay, so there's so much like history there that I could go into, but I'm not going to. There's a bunch of stories. I just folded these. Where did this go? Hold on. I feel like I'm going insane. Sometimes I get excited and then I'm like, oh my gosh, they're right. I'm insane. Okay, here. Okay. So the Tuatha Danann are like so many different mythological gods, and there's so many different stories, and there's just like a bunch of like history there. All right. So the Fomorians are so background. The Tuatha Danann are not good. Like the majority of them are not good or bad gods. They're like very neutral, very giving like Buddhist lessons vibes. There's reference of them in Tanbo, which is what I used to compare medieval Irish with modern Irish.
Okay.
So there's like they're brought up a lot in Irish history, Tuatha Danann.
That's cool.
And okay, so this is what I read from this Heroes of the Dawn. Okay, so like Partholon, the Fomorians were said to be descendants of Noah, but their forefather was Ham, who had been cursed by Noah. As a result, his offspring developed into monsters, and there are like little like creative monster creatures like that look like newts or like the lizard that you sent me.
Yeah.
There's one creature in the actual manuscript that is clearly not like an animal, or it looks like a little dragon. So I've always thought that this like was related to like the Ophilist creature from the River Shannon. But so as a result, his offspring developed into monsters. One account claimed that they each had 3 heads, 3 rows of teeth running from ear to ear, and bones without joints. A Fomorian could eat an ox and a pig at a sitting. Banished by Partholon to Troy Island, they continued to menace Ireland until their defeat in the Second Battle of Moytira by the Tuatha Danann. Although generally malevolent, the Fomorians were also skilled farmers. The Tuatha Danann were good artisans, but understood nothing about agriculture, and had to acquire this knowledge from the Fomorians in order to complete the process of civilizing Ireland.
Wow.
So I was like, there's something here.
Yeah. That's cool.
The idea of like teaching agriculture or agricultural oriented things,
Mhm.
knowledge, exchange of knowledge, that feels like it's being referenced sometimes. Actually, the word Fomorian I've translated as a possibility in a different section. I'm gonna actually figure out. I'm gonna find out which page that's on.
That's cool.
And this is like ancient stuff. Like these are like obviously like fables, like mythological things. You know what I mean? But I do feel like there are references. So Fomorian. Yeah. So the fourth maiden in the on let me see what page this is. The fourth maiden on '85R. Wait, no, that's not '85R. Is that '85R? Let me see. Yeah. So the fourth maiden over to the left, there's a connotation of Fomorian on with a slight admixture. So reading off my translation from fourth maiden, it says, of victory, grabbing its knowledge, gains from rigging, smooth surface or wooden vessel, little dewclaw or dash of provinces, little dewclaw or dash of provinces, drenched underwater, reefing disturbance or preventing disturbance, rigging tough region, young, educate, nourish, little drinking feast, which has a connotation of flask and the word hyphen. Young, educate again, and again, its point, dash, slight admixture, connotation for Fomorian or pirate. The word for Fomorian and pirate looks like the word for slight admixture there. Cloth cloth multifold, small pellitory of the wall, tiniest cloth layer drenched, pleasant slight cloth gossamer, straggling thing, tiny growth, the word possibly for fastener, and possibly the word for until here. And then the combo word for pagan in terms of Greek culture and pagan in terms of Irish culture. And then lyre, railing of plant, lyre meaning like the musical instrument, lyre, railing of plant, or possibly the word for says, expresses, its small, thin garment. And if you look at what is happening, she's holding up like what looks like a lyre with a plant. But the word pagan and paean, they both look the same spelled. They both sound phonetically similar. So there's like a play happening there between pagan and paean. And then there's that connotation of Fomorian and pirate.
The etymology of the Fomori name is debated.
Yeah.
Potentially Tartessian?
Wait, what?
Potentially Tartessian.
What's that?
So Tartessos. This is another
Is
like
this like
historic
a woo-woo?
rabbit hole that I love.
Is it woo-woo or is it real?
No, it's real.
Oh.
It sounds like the Tartaria.
Yeah, that's what I was like,
No.
no.
Well, I don't know if it's real or not. I always thought it was. Tartessos.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It was like a Spanish
Yeah.
historical civilization settled in the southern Iberian Peninsula about the late Bronze Age until 5th century BC. They had a writing system identified as Tartessian that includes some 97 inscriptions that is unclassified for lack of data. Shocker. Tartessos was the first entity located in southwestern Iberia to be recognized as a kingdom. In Greek mythology, it looks like it appears as a semi-mythical or legendary harbor city in the surrounding culture on the south coast of the Iberian Peninsula, modern Andalusia, Spain.
Oh, where's that?
You're making me yawn.
I know. I haven't had a full coffee yet.
It's so it's like the tip of Spain closest to Tangier.
Oh, what is it called?
Tartessos.
That's a spot.
I know.
That's a spot on the route. Tangier is.
Yeah, and then so they think that the Fomorian name could come from the Tartessian language, Omuric.
Whoa. The weird thing about translating with modern Irish is that I'm not translating just purely with Irish. Like I posted to my story, like they just this year for the first time ever produced a fully Irish dictionary, which is not using English references.
It's so horrifying.
I know.
So horrible.
Well, like the translation that I'm doing, of course, it's gonna sound a little bit clunky and have kind of like weird little strands places because
it's not designed to be translated to English.
Right, there's this English filter happening.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a filtering happening. That's why like the chord line, for example, translates to chord line. But if I'm looking back to the medieval times during that area, like what is chord line actually referencing?
Right.
Because there's a plant, but that was referencing something else.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah. I
keep forgetting where we were trying to talk about. Oh, Otogo. Otogo was another one of the places that I think you have listed on the top. And I have an exact match all the way down. It's like a little further south than Tangier.
Otogo?
Mm-hmm.
Can you pull up how it's pronounced?
It's in Spain, so I assume Otogo.
Oh, that's exact. Except
Yeah.
there's no O. It's Atog.
Oh. Yeah, it looks like it's just Otogo. And so it's owned by Spain, and it has Franciscan presence confirmed in the 1500s.
Whenever you see things confirmed in the 1500s, it's usually like 100 years prior.
Exactly. I'm not holding much weight in when things have certain histories.
I don't understand why that is though. Like it's the same way with like etymology, like etymline.com, like there will be like a word that says was started in the 15th century or the 16th century, but it's clear it came from an initial word that was like a Latin word, and people were most likely using it that way prior to it like being like written and fully established.
Yeah. It's especially when it comes to like religious adjacent things. Especially at this point in time, the Franciscan movement was very largely Gnostic, which has been wiped out every single time they rise to prominence. And like the Franciscan denomination is really it's very traditionally Catholic now.
It is.
But at that point, it was a lot more, yeah.
It was humanist. Like, I feel like so much of what I'm reading is like from back then is like humanist ideology and like doctorial or like medicinal and medical.
It like sits at they really value like academic and scholarly thought, but also knowledge of nature and also individual relationship with God. Like it doesn't
and
seem like
solitude,
yeah, it doesn't seem like they cared much about like congregating together to like for church or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a very individual thing. One of the most prominent books I think is like The Mind's Road to God that I think Bonaventure, who's like one of the main voices in the Franciscan time, I think he wrote it.
What is it called again?
Hold on. Let me find him. So he was Bonaventure. He's 1200s, and he wrote. I want to say it's The Mind's Road to God.
The Mind's Road to God.
The Journey of the Mind to God, or The Mind's Road to God.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Wait, what was he up to? This is after his time, but
so he was friends with Thomas Aquinas, but they disagreed a lot. So a lot of their like scholarly thought is in response to each other.
Okay.
And he's sort of the basis for a lot of what the Franciscans through the Middle Ages were doing and thinking. It's cool that he's around the same like time frame as Roger Bacon.
Yeah, I wonder so Roger Bacon was thrown out, right? Did this guy
no, William of Ockham was thrown out.
Oh, okay, never mind.
There's just so many of them. It looks like he talks about like your literal elevation being important. And a lot of our communes are mountain towns.
So who was against the church owning property?
William of Ockham.
Okay. What time period was he a predecessor of?
He is born like end of the 1280s and he's alive until the 1340s. But he was educated at the Grey Friars, which is close to our Ditchling location.
Yeah, that's also the area, like the Franco-Flemish schools where they were doing some of the polyphonic stuff that I was looking into. Okay. I feel like there's overlap there.
Yeah. And so when he left, he was condemned as unorthodox and ordered to Avignon, France. And Avignon is like right in between two of our communes, which is kind of cool. I think it's right in between Ambrès and Sabran, I want to say. Where is it? He received his elementary education at the Grey Friars and then studied theology at Oxford. While he completed all the requirements for a master's in theology, he was never made a regent master. That sucks.
Why?
I don't know. Because of this, he acquired the honorific title Venerabilis Inceptor, or Venerable Beginner. That's evil. He did all the work to complete a master's, and they called him a venerable beginner.
Honestly, can relate. I never got my undergraduate degree. I went for 3 years. I was like, no. But honestly, I feel like I'm glad in a lot of ways. Oh, whoa. Okay, listen to this. This is from saintsbooks.net. This is a publication by someone.
By someone.
I can't see their name. I'll find later. Let me just read this. Yet even in the 13th century, Catholic philosophers were far from being in agreement, either on matters of doctrine or method, on either matters of doctrine or method. One of the only to mention such figures of Alexander of Hales was the master Saint Bonaventura, Roger Bacon, and the various monks of Saint Victor. Maybe we should look into Saint Victor.
Yeah.
To realize that the confusion and disagreement which certain writers of today find in our own time were just as characteristic of a period to which they refer to as one of the universal concord.
Wait a minute. There's a few different Saint Victors.
Wait, what?
There's a few different Saint Victors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It looks like there's 2nd century, a soldier from the 3rd century, medieval scholar, probably Hugh of Saint Victor. I'm laughing because Victor of Aveyron, a feral child from 18th century France. What?
Feral child, I also can relate.
Okay, so Hugh of Saint Victor. I assume we're talking about him. Fits more likely. 1096 to 1141.
I was just thinking of
Oh, he's Saxon.
What was his name?
I know, I'm filled with weird names of medieval men.
So this is talking all about like the metaphysical standpoint of everything, which I think is like important to isolate the who or who this person is connected to because of like these disagreements that I think that were happening, like these like fundamental disagreements.
Yeah, I love this time frame.
That's probably more likely like the reason why he wasn't given his flowers, so to speak.
Yeah.
He wasn't actually like, yeah, the metaphysical point of view of Saint Bonaventura can be traced back to Plotinus, if not to Philo. Fundamental to this whole system is that fusion of 3 hierarchies of Neoplatonism: the hierarchy of logical classes, that of values, and that of reality. Okay.
And Hugh of Saint Victor is a Saxon canon regular, a leading theologian and writer on mystical theology. I love mystical theology.
Elementary students of logic are accustomed to the doctrine that individuals can be grouped into classes which belong to certain species, that these species are again susceptible to classification in certain genera, that these are capable of being grouped into still larger orders and families until we come to the class which includes all other classes and which is usually called being. This hierarchy of classes in the textbooks of classical logic is called the tree of Porphyry. Porphyry.
I don't know what that is.
In a non-philosophic work, we find the same sort of thing illustrated in the Linnaean classification of plants and animals. The higher up one goes in this hierarchy, the more inclusive are one's classes. Thus, the class of vertebrates is more inclusive than the class of mammals, and the class of animals is more inclusive than the class of vertebrates.
This is fun.
This is so much fun.
I'm having a blast. Hold on. Saint Victor outlines 3 types of philosophy or science that can help mortals improve themselves and advance toward God. Theoretical philosophy, including theology, math, and physics, provides them with truth. Practical philosophy, like ethics, economics, and politics, aids them in becoming virtuous and prudent. And mechanical or a liberal philosophy, like carpentry, agriculture, and medicine, yields physical benefits. A fourth philosophy, logic, is preparatory to the others and exists to ensure clear and proper conclusions. Hugh's deeply mystical bent did not prevent him from seeing philosophy as a useful tool for understanding the divine or from using it to argue on behalf of faith.
Oh, catch this. This is perfect. The second hierarchy, which was fused with the logical hierarchy, was that of value. There is no purely logical reason why the general should be any better than the particular. Though there are good traditional grounds for thinking so. Plato, Aristotle, and Neoplatonists, and even Stoics had a tendency to confuse goodness with the ideal or the general. In ancient pagan thought, there was a standard belief that no particular was ever a perfect exemplification of its class. No triangle made of matter being a perfect geometrical triangle, no human being a perfectly rational animal, no work of art being a perfect realization of the artist's idea. Arguing in this way, one could see that no species could ever perfectly exemplify its genus, no genus its higher order, and so on. This is what we see in terms of like the language that's going on as well, that's being used.
Yeah, for sure.
Hence the process downward from being was degeneration, which makes sense.
Yeah.
When one stops to think that the Christian religion insisted upon man's nature as having been vitiated by sin, which though committed by our primordial parents was nevertheless inherited by us, one can also see why to a Christian the fusion of the logical and the value hierarchy was natural enough. We still look in vain for perfect exemplification of animal and vegetable and species and word and linguistic stuff too. Like, though we are inclined to believe that the species is an ideal formed for intellectual purposes and not to be expected to exist in anything other than scientific books and articles, but to a Christian thinker of the type of Saint Bonaventura, the species and genre and genera were the ideas of God in accordance with which he had created the world. Okay.
Then, so this stuff with William of Ockham and the disagreement with the Pope would have only been like 75 years before where we're placing the author.
Mm-hmm.
So they definitely, I would imagine in a Franciscan school, they would be learning about this Franciscan guy that was executed, maybe, or maybe would they not teach them about him because he's so controversial? But I feel like,
I mean, he had to have had people like on his side about the property stuff.
totally, because hold on. So he says during the Middle Ages, he wrote a commentary on Peter Lombard's sentences, and it was not well received by his colleagues or by church authorities. In 1324, his commentary was condemned as unorthodox, and he was ordered to France to defend himself before the papal court. Jeez.
Whoa.
An alternative understanding recently proposed suggests that Occam was initially appointed to Avignon as a professor of philosophy at a Franciscan school, and that his disciplinary difficulties did not begin until 1327. What?
That's Occam, right?
Yeah.
And then that's the whole Occam's razor.
Yes.
That's like, okay.
He's known for scholasticism, Ockhamism, and nominalism.
Well, the reason why is like that third reading of Occam, this like seems to be like a trend in the whole manuscript. So I'm wondering if it is like a reference or a nod, so to speak, to Occam as well.
It wouldn't surprise me. It says here, it's believed that so the Franciscan minister general had been summoned to answer charges of heresy. And then William of Ockham got involved in the debate because the Franciscan minister general asked Occam to review his arguments around apostolic poverty, in which the Franciscans believed that Jesus and his apostles owned no property, either individually or in common. And the rule of St. Francis commanded members of the order to follow this practice, which brought them into conflict with Pope John the 22nd. Because of the Pope's attack on the rule of St. Francis, Occam, the minister general, and other leading Franciscans fled France in May 1328 and eventually took refuge in the court of the Holy Roman Emperor Louis IV of Bavaria, who was also engaged in dispute with the papacy and became Occam's patron. So then Occam agreed with the minister general, disagreed with the Pope, and in return for his protection and patronage, Occam wrote treatises that argued for Emperor Louis to have supreme control over church and state in the Holy Roman Empire. By 1328, William was officially excommunicated for leaving France without permission. So he got then officially excommunicated from France. Occam argued that the Pope was a heretic for attacking the doctrine of apostolic poverty and the rule of St. Francis, which had been endorsed by previous popes. His philosophy has never officially been condemned as heretical, so they probably still would have been teaching it as long as he was never deemed a heretic. Right? And then, he spent much of the remainder of his life writing about political issues, including the relative authority and rights of the spiritual and temporal powers. After the Franciscan minister general's death in 1342, Occam became the leader of a small band of Franciscan dissidents living in exile with Louis IV. William of Ockham died prior to the outbreak of the plague in 1347. So he became a leader of some like New Age Franciscans. I need to learn about Louis IV now.
I know. Like one thing leads to another. Also, I can't help but draw connections to what's happening in our world today.
Totally.
And I also like don't like agree with any one thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there is something.
Could Ike be Aachen? Aachen? I know that one is tough because it's only the 3 characters, but
Yeah.
Louis IV was coronated in Aachen. It came up
How do you
in
spell it? How do you spell
Aachen. It's in Germany, up close to the border.
it? Oh. So the Occam and Ogham, the connection there is it's Aachen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sits like right on the border of Germany and Belgium
Yeah.
and the Netherlands. It's like right on in that little.
It was a Celtic settlement.
Of course it was. Of course it was.
These purple springs, bro. I can't.
It came up in my. I don't know who made this database, but I want to kiss them on the mouth. It's like hundreds of pages of Franciscan women's houses and like where they were located and when they were active.
This is.
And Aachen is on there.
Oh my god.
That extends our map into Germany. I don't think we had a point in Germany yet.
But that's the charm, I think, is trying to exclude some people from Germany.
I think so too, because the more that and that cool thing about that lady that was talking about how she was such like the inferior sex, but it was coded.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that was just one example in there of a bunch of like different scribes that had put different ciphered notes at the end of manuscripts. And like some of them will be like, I did this while I was tired. I hope it's accurate. Like other ones are more like poetic.
Oh my god. Wait. Aachen is a modern descendant, like Southern German Ach, which is river, which is Av in Irish, Avon, Ava, Ach. So there's like an overlap there in terms of like Celtic going back. Which directly translates etymologically to the Latin word aqua.
Oh, that's cool.
Referring to the springs. It's a water.
Aachen came up somewhere else too. Hold on. I need to find it. Because Aachen came up a few different times. I know it was on that Franciscan women's.
Oh my god of healing.
What?
It was, oh my god. This is it.
I'm so glad we found that one because I was getting so frustrated with Ike.
What is happening? What am I reading right now? Okay. The waters of Granus, referring to the Celtic god of healing who is worshipped at the springs. Walloon and Aixen. All the way to the 8th century, or what centuries are we talking here? What centuries? All right. This goes so far.
Aachen has bathhouses. That's where I found it. They were on another bathhouse database too.
Are you kidding me? This has got to be. The city remained a free imperial city, subject to the emperor only, but was politically far too weak to influence the policies of any of its neighbors.
Oh, Aachen.
The Middle Ages. This is the Middle Ages.
This is perfect. I'm so glad. Okay.
Oh my God, I swear to God. That is crazy.
I'm
That is
so excited.
crazy. Wait, are you? They're ruled by a Benedictine abbess. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
No. They're only dominion. They didn't have any dominion. They were not ruled by anyone.
No, because
Only
hold
dominion
on.
that it had was over Bershid, a neighboring territory ruled by a Benedictine abbess. Okay, I'm getting too excited now. Wait.
Hang on. I need to find.
As an imperial city, Aachen held certain political privileges that allowed it to remain independent of the troubles during those years in Europe. It remained a direct vassal of Holy Roman Empire throughout most of the Middle Ages. It was also the site of many important church councils. Church councils. Church councils.
Where is? Here we go. Whoever made this Franciscan Women History and Culture, a geographical and bio-bibliographical internet guide is a genius. I'm in love with them.
And conveniently, the 1400s are left out of this entire Wikipedia.
Shocker. It's always the 1400s.
Wait. I have some like 2 sentences here, all right? Over the next 500 years, mostly kings of Germany who ruled the Holy Roman Empire were crowned in Aachen. The original audience hall, built by Charlemagne, was torn down and replaced by the current city hall in 1330. During the 13th century, many Jews converted to Christianity, as shown in the records of the Aachen Minster, today's cathedral. In 1486, the Jews of Aachen offered gifts to Maximilian during his coronation ceremony. The last king to be crowned here was Ferdinand I in 1531.
Hold on. I have a convent. The Elizabethan Sisters is in Aachen, and it's a Franciscan women's convent.
I have to sneeze.
Bless you.
Okay, manuscript production.
What?
Aachen was an important site for. I have to put my glasses on. I have a headache. Aachen was an important site for the production of historical manuscripts. Under Charlemagne's purview, both the Ada Gospels. Right, we have to look at these. Ada Gospels.
Oh, I'm looking at them too. Pretty.
Okay.
I can't believe how gorgeous all of this art is, and it's all just
I know
by some students.
Okay, the coronation gospels are interesting.
Yeah, we get a nice big gap from like the 1100s.
In addition, quantities of the other texts in the court library were also produced locally. During the reign of Louis the Pious, substantial quantities of ancient texts were produced in Aachen, including legal manuscripts such as the Leges Scriptorium group, patristic texts, I don't know what that word means, hold on. Patriarch, yeah, the church fathers. Including the 5 manuscripts of the Bamberg Plening group, finally under Lochler.
There's an Aachen pilgrimage?
That is it. This is an Irish monastery monk doing a pilgrimage to Aachen, or bringing information. There's wool. There's cloth. Cloth is a thing. It's like a thank you exchange.
And during the Middle Ages, Aachen remained a city of regional importance due to its proximity to Flanders and trade in woolen cloth. And then look at that little picture.
Bread. They're sharing bread. Do you know that the word companion, like the word friend, it means to break bread in Latin.
That's sweet. And then look at the little picture. Presentation of the 4 great relics during the Aachen pilgrimage after a 17th century painting. What? And so the Franciscan women's house, the earliest record that I can find is 1600s, but what does that mean?
Do you see the pools? The Elizabethan pools? They're like modeled. They're made in the 1800s, but they're modeled. Like, feel like they're modeled.
Do you see that the painting of the siege of Aachen? And how it's like a radial, like look at the round.
Where?
The 16th to 18th century section. And then look at the painting.
Ah.
That's
reminding me of Go Back Leave Out.
Totally.
You can't call someone like schizophrenic for making connections. Like things be connected.
They always are.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Oh my gosh, this is starting to make so much more sense now.
Didn't you say rheumatism?
Wait, what?
Doesn't rheumatism come up in like the remedies or something?
Oh yeah, well, a lot of it is about like de-inflammation or like anti-inflammatory. A lot of the
health benefits of the hot springs in Aachen.
Oh my god.
There's hot springs?
Well, maybe there's a reason for those hot springs, and then like
look, it says
medicinal things. Remember, okay, we also have to remember that the folios are not consecutive. Like they're like loose leaf. So
only by
depending on what the person would need, like I feel like
it had high levels of syphilis.
There we go.
And
I'm telling you, these are not anti-inflammatories, they're rashes.
And only by the end of the 19th century had rheumatism become the most important object of cures at Aachen. Aachen had spas. Consider in the 1500s, or by the middle of the 17th century, the city had developed a considerable reputation as a spa.
This is also like the French spa. The French spa too.
Yeah.
The one that I was telling you about. Remember in the first call, I think the first call that we had? The Women of Bath. I think it's called Women of Bath in France. I think it's called Women of Bath.
Wait, because, oh God, I haven't looked at it for weeks, but in Atina, there's, going back like far in time, there's record of like a water cult being there, of like people that worship. Wait, I need to find it. Is it Atina?
Oh my god. See, like feel like you're doing it for the money. I'm doing it for this. I'm doing it for this one right here.
I don't care. I don't care if anyone ever believes us. I'm very comfortable that
me too.
Like I've satisfied my curiosity.
Oh, me too. I'm like, sure, someone can go publish whatever they want.
Yeah.
But we were here for this. Oh my gosh, this moment is so good. I cannot believe that. It makes so much sense. But I'm wondering if this person did like the 10-year program that we were talking about in Franciscan. I wonder how
could have they know so much, and they've been able to gain knowledge from so many places.
This community was already speaking Celtic, which is crazy.
It's so cool.
I'm like, was the person Irish? Was the person like German here in this Aachen area speaking Celtic? But it seems like it's trying to exclude the German speakers.
Yeah.
I'm so confused. And it's interesting that all of the Jews were coming to convert to Christianity here.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
It is.
1,400 Jews were again living in Aachen.
Huh.
Oh wait, no, that's 2003, sorry. So how many were living there at the beginning? This is so bizarre. So by 1542, the Dutch humanist and physician Francis Fabricius published his study on the health benefits of the hot springs in Aachen.
This is so cool.
I wonder if they were using these herbs from Ireland from the burn in these spas. Francis Fabricius, I want to see who he studied under because this is after our time period.
Yeah, wait.
He was a humanist from the Low Countries. The Low Countries, also known as the Netherlands, is a historical and geographical coastal lowland region in northwestern Europe. But I wonder who he studied under, but it doesn't say. Just that he was a physicist or a physician and a humanist.
Oh, okay. This is what I have about the.
Oh my gosh, this is like having like scratching an itch.
Yeah, it totally is. It's so satisfying. Wait, can you look at the I think it was listed on the top of the map, the Deddle one, because that's the one that I'm by far having the hardest time with.
So Deddle is on the bottom list.
It is? Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, Deddle has other possibilities as well. The two D's are written inconsistently also.
Okay. So I have possibilities and they're both reaches, but I think phonetically they could work.
Okay.
Because the D could be a T, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So walk with me now because this one's a reach.
And the L could be like a fada.
Which would make it a what? Like an E sound?
It would just be extending. Yeah, on its own it would just be like an I, maybe. It's not technically a letter, it's just extending the vowel sound.
I can find nothing with just Deddle. But on the Franciscan Women's Houses database, I started going through all the D's and T's, trying to see if anything would work phonetically.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one that I think it's in Spain. So the R would be rolled. And it could sound like a duh, but it would be, yeah. Tereuel.
T-E-R what?
It's Terrell.
Terrell. Maybe. Yeah.
I think. Terrell.
T-E-R-U-L?
U-E-L.
U-E-L. T-E-R-U-E-L.
And it's in Spain.
That would not be a I mean, it would be a little bit of a reach, but it wouldn't be that much of a reach.
And, okay, so it doesn't really like change any of our geography. It just adds a point in Spain. It's like the central eastern part of
They would be
Spain.
hearing the city Tetal with the Spanish accent, which the R sound.
Right.
I see what you're saying. Yep. That is not a stretch. No.
And it's in Aragon.
Okay.
So okay, let's see what they were doing in the 1400s. Shut the fuck up. The area around has been populated since the times of the Celtiberians. What the fuck? They called it Turboletta. Nice name. This is so much fun.
This is so much fun.
Like the time of my life.
People don't understand. Like, to be perfectly honest, my friends and family don't fully understand what this
No,
is.
my husband's like, I'm glad you're having fun.
It's so much fun. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Wait, what?
This is insane. Here we go. Here
I
we
just get
go.
weirded out by these foreign people are gonna come after us. They're gonna come after me. They're so mean. I just want to be their friend.
Hold on.
This is incredible.
They have a star and bull on their city flag. That's cool. Middle Ages. Mudahar. Oh, Muslims. They had Jewish and Muslim and Franciscan presence in there.
Yep.
That's so cool.
So cool. Oh my gosh. Wait, now I have to. Are you on the Wikipedia for True?
Yeah.
Leave all these open.
Its members were engaged in commerce and industry, especially in wool weaving. Here,
oh my god!
During persecutions of 1391, many of them were killed while others accepted Christianity in order to save their lives.
So incredible. Wait, what is it? Teruel?
Teruel.
Oh my god.
It's really pretty. They have a gorgeous cathedral, like Muslim cathedral.
The coat of arms.
Yeah.
Hold on. What's on the coat of arms? A cow. It's so cool.
8-pointed star. That's most of the stars in the manuscript are 7 or 8. I love that you were calling it the water doctrine also. It's a way better name.
I know, right?
They're aqueducts. I love aqueducts.
Me too.
So cool.
And the word duct I've translated too. Like the actual word duct comes up in 2 different locations where it's like super specific. According to authors, the name of the star Actual would make Toril, which would become Turel. The legend of this encounter also explains the star and the bull on the city's flag and coat of arms.
Hmm.
According to one legend, it was founded when all the wise and important people of the town came together to look for signs and omens.
That's so funny.
Why is that so hilarious?
Located at the confluence of the Guadalaviar and the Alfambra rivers. So it sits right at the meeting of two rivers.
Wow.
It originated as the Iberian settlement of Turba, which was destroyed by the Romans in retaliation for the destruction of nearby coastal Saguntum by Carthaginian General Hannibal. It became a Moorish stronghold for a while. Large number of Moors remained in the city after its conquest in 1171, which resulted in the mixed style of architecture still seen today. In the cloisters of the Gothic church.
Later on, after the Christian reconquest of Spain, the Jewish community paid a yearly tax in the 14th century. This is the 1300s. Its members were engaged in commerce and industry, especially you already read this, especially wool weaving. During the persecutions of 1391, many of them were killed, while others accepted Christianity in order to save their lives.
Mm-hmm. And then
a risky time to be doing stuff.
Yeah. Structures from the 16th century include a cathedral and aqueduct. Although the economy is basically agricultural, there are textile, timber, and construction industries.
Mudejar style. What does that mean, Mudejar?
It's like the mixed Muslim.
Okay. Well, that Mudejar, that reminds me of the word that translated to madrigal, possibly.
Mm.
In the Latin section.
I'm trying to find.
There.
In the cloisters of the Gothic church of San Pedro were buried the celebrated lovers of Teruel, Diego Juan Martinez and Isabel de Segura, in the 13th century.
Ooh.
Their stories, the subject of works. Is there a romance story based on these people from? That's so cute.
Oh, whoa. A branch of Zaragoza University is located there. The Center of Physics and Cosmos. This is like much later on, of course, but that's interesting.
Oh my, do you know that famous picture of the two like sarcophagi holding hands? Those are the lovers of Teruel.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It makes me want to cry. It's so cute.
I remember that. That is so cute. There's a 16th century Spanish translator translating the Quran into Latin, Juan Gabriel Turrell. Do you know?
Huh.
Turrell. I feel like I'm pronouncing it wrong. My computer's working. It's Juan Gabriel. Was a Spanish convert from Islam to Christianity, known for translating the Quran into Latin during the early 16th century. There were forced conversions of Muslims in Spain to Christianity. Whoa. I didn't know about that. That's in the 1500s, though. That's like later on.
Hold on. I'm finding out more about the Aachen pilgrimage. I know I'm like bouncing around.
No, that's good. It's so easy to like go in a little Wikipedia.
Together with Rome, Jerusalem, and Santiago de Compostela, Aachen was one of the most important pilgrimage sites in the Middle Ages. It all started with a generous gift.
This is a generous gift.
4 cloth relics? Hold on. Wait, legend has it that among them were Aachen Cathedral's 4 main relics, which found safekeeping in the Shrine of the Virgin Mary in 1239. Ever since 1349, the 4 cloth relics have been displayed to the faithful from around the world every 7 years.
So the manuscript, there's the 4 maidens.
Yeah.
So they're wrapping the seed, right?
Uh-huh.
It's the seed of knowledge. This is either referential to that or like a direct connection. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if this is referential.
Okay, so the 4 cloth relics are ancient fabrics, which are called the dress of the Virgin Mary.
Yes.
From the night Jesus was born, the swaddling cloths of Jesus, which Mary gave protection to the child, the loincloth of Jesus, and the cloth in which the head of John the Baptist was kept after the beheading.
Weird.
So this cathedral in Germany just claims to have all 4 of these, and they display them?
In the manuscript, there's a description of the folding of a seed in cloth and then the unraveling of that.
With
it's
the
not just the
cocos.
seed. It's the pellitory, the cocos, and then also the root of the pellitory of the wall.
Okay.
That's what it says in my translation, and I'm like, is that referential to that? Is this like a medical version of that?
Maybe. It totally could.
Like it feels referential, like not necessarily like a direct reference, you know, like a memory sort of, but also they showed these images of German manuscripts where it's literally looks exactly like the women and those 4 and that like circle. They show like on the forum, people were showing like these manuscripts where they were saying it was a direct reference to these German manuscripts. But I think it's like that makes sense that it's an Aachen.
Totally.
The person would have those German references, but they're not like they're obviously like speaking and accustomed to speaking a totally different language, but they're using it as sort of like a collaging or like a memeing.
It also helps us make sense of references like Hildegard and like other German voices that maybe wouldn't have been known elsewhere. Okay. I'm psyched about Aachen because Ike was haunting me. Ike and Dettel were both haunting me. I'm so glad that we have potential ones that make sense.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
And so the adding Teruel in Spain starts adding that second diagonal line going more like this way. I never know my left and right. Because it's now if we're gonna hold on to the Sweden ones, it makes a line with the with Aachen, with Teruel, and then down to Togo in the Canary Islands. But that one I'm not positive about. I can keep looking. But that does fit with the sailing path.
Okay, I'm pulling up the. Oh my god, that's so fascinating. That is so fascinating. And Turkey is not that far. For the reference for the
It's not. It would connect. It could connect via like our point in Crete. If we have a place that's like coastal southwestern Turkey, it would make a lot of sense.
yeah.
Or it looks like there are a lot of islands
Oh my god.
like off the coast. What did you find?
There are so many places where now I'm thinking it's referencing like this is crazy. There are so many places that I've translated, like so many sections that I've translated where now I'm like, is it referencing Aachen? So the Porto Ceresio, I don't think is the center, maybe.
It may not. It's still, it doesn't moving. Hold on. Moving our center to from Porto Ceresio
I'm gonna update this map.
isn't, it's just going northwest a little bit. It doesn't keep our central point super far off.
I'm gonna update the map. I'm gonna do the number. Wait, can you tell me where Aachen is
Aachen is,
in Germany? Like where on the line?
it's right where along the German border where the Netherlands and Belgium and Germany all come together.
And that is
It's like if you're
no, I
going
got
from
it.
the
I got
Douan
it.
point,
I got
it's
it. I'm
not
just
far.
looking at the actual number that I have listed for. Well, which number was Aachen?
I don't remember.
Or
It
wait, no,
was,
maybe, I don't think it was a number.
was it Ike? It looks like Ike, but it.
Yeah.
You had it initially. I think you had it on a point in Austria.
Yeah, number 12. But it looks, to be completely honest, it looks like Ogham and Oakham.
The Ike.
The way it's written, like Aachen, the way it's written, like it, like if I were to look at the word, it's Ogham, Oakham, or Aachen.
Huh. Aachen is known as a spa city. It like on Google Maps, it says Aachen is a spa city near Germany's borders with Belgium and the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Tyrrell, right? Where is
Yeah.
Tyrrell? Can you describe?
It's A little further east than Madrid. It's like midway between Madrid and the Mediterranean.
It's Tereul or Uel?
Uel.
So it's east of Madrid?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
It's like halfway between Madrid and the coast.
Numbers here. 12. And Duddle was 8. Duddle. Turtle.
Did we think, I don't remember, did we think Autry was a good fit for that actress? One of the ones on the top. I can't remember if we thought that was a decent fit.
What is it called again?
I have Autry, but I think we had listed phonetic possibilities as like Autris, Arish, Autrish.
From the top?
Yes. I don't know.
Yeah, I have these. I'm just gonna list the phonetic possibilities.
Okay.
Atrice, atrisk, atriche, atriche, atrish, atrice, atris.
So Autry works.
Atrisk.
Autry is definitely the best that I've.
I'm trying to think of SC. There's I mean, it could be a G, but it doesn't look pointed. There's a possibility that it's a trig, a truig. But it would most likely be like a soft G, like a GH, not a hard G.
Artigues?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Wait,
That's
it was a G and NS, definitely. I mean, it looks like a blend between a G and S.
so I have Atri, which would be a place in Italy, or there's Artigues, but it definitely wouldn't be pronounced like that because it's French.
FT?
Artigues.
There's no T though at the beginning.
ART. Art, maybe? Artigues? Artigue?
FT? Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, Atri, which, I mean,
That would be most likely be an error on their end.
so
Because the letters would be that would be like a total swap. So I would think it probably isn't that the French one.
okay. So then the Italian one is like, it's not, it's pretty close, like horizontally from Atina. It's just the West Coast instead. But I don't know much about it. Let's see. Tree. It's only 10 kilometers from the Adriatic. It's close to rivers.
What does the word Adriatic come from?
The
Adria is a possibility. Adria, Adrius, Adrius, Adriusk.
Oh, so Adriatic comes from the ancient city of Adria. Remains of the Etruscan city of Atria with a T.
Atria. Yep. I think that's what we're looking at.
So that's actually very close to where we have Antoli. It's right up in that like same area. So we have Adria, which is Adria, or we have Atri, which is Atri, both in Italy.
And there's nothing at the end, like an S?
Mm-mm.
G, no. What is written is Atri, Audrey, Atri, but there's an S or a C or an SC or a G at the end.
I can look at I should have been doing this with the hard ones. I can look at the Franciscan women's database and see if there's anything that matches.
I wonder if it's like
an Acri with a C. That's not it. So we think it's either an AD or an AT?
most likely an AT.
Okay. There's so many Franciscan women's houses. Okay.
Well, that makes it like less like I'm just like I don't even know.
It helps. I'm on the 6th page of them, and I'm just in the ARs.
Really?
Yeah. There's so many, and this is through
there's
like
so many. Wait, how
all of
it's all throughout Europe?
I think so. And it says the convent and the years that they were active that you can find. Now I'm in the ASs. Here we go. Yeah. So Atri comes up twice on here for like 3 different houses.
How is it spelled?
ATRI. Tone.
Let me just look at what the suffix ch is in Irish. I forget. I don't know if it is a suffix. It just the letter looks like it could be an S, C, a CH, a G.
Mm-hmm.
It looks kind of like a blend.
If it ends with a G or a GH, we can assume it's probably German or nearer, like more in that area.
But you said none of them have the ending.
No, I have Atri and I have Adria.
Let me just look at what the suffix is really quick.
Oh, I think Adria might be right. Mass Celtic incursions from the Po Valley resulted in friction between the Gauls and Etruscans and intermarriage, attested by epigraphic inscriptions on which Etruscan and Celtic names appear together. The city was populated by Etruscans, Veneti, Greeks, and Celts. Okay, I'm gonna have to go soon. Ophelia's freaking out there.
Oh, you gotta go, yeah.
But hold on.
Oh, sa is used after possessive. So it could be like a like this could be sa, like a possessive. Which one is it, mine or yours? So it could be like mine or yours, a tree, mine or yours.
Well, either way, both of the possibilities are in Italy, so it doesn't really change our map much at all.
Yeah.
This is kind of cool, though. Wait, a Roman Pliny the Elder, a Roman author and fleet commander, wrote about a system of channels in Atria that was first made by the Tuscans, thus discharging the flow of the river across the marshes of the Atriani, called the Seven Seas, with the famous
the Seven Sisters, Pleiades. Sorry.
With the famous harbor of the Tuscan town Atria, which formerly gave the name of Adriatic to the sea now called the Adriatic. Those seven seas were interlinked coastal lagoons, separated from the open sea by sand spits and barrier islands. The Etruscans extended this natural inland waterway with new canals to extend the navigation possibilities of the tidal reaches of the Po all the way north to Atria.
That is what is being described, though, in terms of like troughs, in terms of water, in terms of little rivers. There's so many different versions of the word river in this text. Like,
so maybe they were reading Pliny the Elder, because this is like an old Roman guy talking about like the history of how this place came to
had
be.
to have been. I mean, like, think about the fisheries in Ireland. Like,
yeah,
I'm just like, if there were monks, monasteries, they were reading so many different people. There had to be so much influence there. But if it's the other way around, also someone traveling through Ireland and bringing it back, the Celtic language, like, I'm just okay.
After a period as an independent commune, it was then under the possession of Este of Ferrara in the 16th century. So in the 1400s, it was probably an independent commune.
In the 1400s, it was an independent commune?
It doesn't, there's a gap from 589 to the 16th century. But it just says after a period as an independent commune, it became a possession of Este of Ferrara in the 16th century.
Can you tell me the name again?
For the Este of Ferrara, Este. And of Ferrara, which is another commune.
But what was the work about channeling the rivers that they would have read?
I don't know. It just says that it's by Pliny the Elder.
Wait, is this House of Este?
No, the house. So that it Austria became a possession of the House of Este, and then in the 16th century, the Republic of Venice. House of Este.
Wait, what is the work that I should look up?
Hold on. I don't know what it's called. But if you look on the Adria, Adria, on that Wikipedia, I'm looking in the history section.
Is this Italy?
Yeah. And then it says in the ancient era, the Roman author Pliny the Elder wrote about the system of channels. Could still be Ravenna. Ravenna is such a pretty name.
Adria is the Venetic language, Adur, water, sea.
There are several ideas concerning the etymology of the ancient toponym Adria. Adria. That's cool.
Uh, sorry, where would you just see the
So where it's talking about the etymology, 2 paragraphs up.
no, the rivers.
It says first made by the Tuscans, thus discharging the flow of the river across the marshes. The paragraph starts with Pliny the Elder.
Oh, okay, the barrier islands, this is described so much in the manuscript as like this ebb or this strand. It's like a strand of beach.
Okay. That makes sense because these are all lagoons.
Yeah. Oh, whoa, look at them. Did you see the map? Here's the
Yeah,
barrier island, the Spitz, the bay. Okay.
that's so cool.
That's really so cool. Okay. The barrier islands. The beaches are really mentioned a lot. Tidal range, wave energy.
And if our author did end up becoming like a friar or something, they believe in like traveling by foot, going to places that are like far out of reach,
Yeah.
getting to know the people and the poor. Because like we could totally be operating from like this is information that made its way to the author, or the author traveled all of these places.
Right. And it's weird. It's like the text is trying to communicate to multiple different people too. But it's
Yeah.
also like I'm wondering if this is information like to go back to Aachen to be like, these are all these places. This is like, but the information I think is supposed to, I just don't know. It just seems like it's like serving a purpose altogether, even though they're individual leaflets and folios.
Hmm.
It seems like it's a mission to get something, but also to bring something back because there's this idea of like exchanging of knowledge where it's like I'm bringing you something from Ireland, from the green of Ireland, the yew tree,
Hmm.
sort of like this idea of. Did you ever look up cumdocs in ancient Ireland?
No, what's that?
That I think is being described in the blended language 116.
Hmm.
I think that that's being described because they talk it, the word I translated a word that if you're reading the script like with an Irish slant, it
Hmm.
reads as like the word for you, like the tree yew, and they made cumdocs with Irish yew
Hmm.
specifically. Sometimes they did with oak, but it was mainly yew, like yew.
Yeah, I that came up. You came up in my research too
Yeah.
for how. Wait, but look at this about the barrier islands. A human-made offshore coastal engineering structure constructed to parallel the shore is called a breakwater. And if you look at what the breakwater, it could be describing that structure constructed at a coastal area to protect against the tides, currents, waves, and storm
Right.
surges.
It's like a protective thing, and that's like what the language is too. It's like to protect against the waves, so
Yeah.
it can be understood for forever and by many people.
And these are still used. They provide safe harborage.
Mhm. And so many of the plants are like anti-inflammatory specifically. I'm just wondering
Yeah.
if like this is trying to get ahead of some pretty serious like STDs or something going on in different bathhouses.
It totally could. And I know that Franciscans, at some earlier point in my theorizing, I was thinking that, oh, because the art looks so much like those Latin, the Tractatus de Urbis. And since the Franciscans worked as translators, it wouldn't be far-fetched to say that like maybe they copied something down into a language that only they could know and
Right.
then traveled and like copied down into each of these different places native languages for
Right.
these people to each have.
And I mean, like the trading of seeds is not about like, you know, biodiversity necessarily. It's also about like being able to medically supply for people experiencing X, Y, and Z. So like
Totally.
the trading of seeds is like, I mean, the amount the amount of Mediterranean plants in the Burren in Ireland is like remarkable from like
Yeah,
a plant level, like a biological plant level. Like there had to have been like
well, I was looking up
massive.
like all their lizards and newts and stuff because I was so into the little creatures that were in the drawings. And there's a legless fucking lizard that exists in the Burren, not natively. It was like introduced later.
Oh, weird.
And it wouldn't have been around at the time, but it's
Right.
because of how diverse all the plants and stuff are there that they can introduce all these weird animals.
Yeah.
So cool.
It just does seem like there is like crossover there, you know.
Totally.
And in terms of the roots, like the root section, there's like they're organized in a way that's like very logical. So a person reading it knows to distinguish between this root and this root.
Yeah.
They do totally different things. Like um
The water hemlock, right?
right, exactly. Like you would want to know the difference because one can help you out maybe, but like the other one will make you like experience confusion or whatever. Like
Yeah,
I don't remember the exact symptoms, but like and the way that you read the actual book is logical and makes sense because the left to right you can see what it's being compared against and then um what like qualities in growth like vertically up and down you can read like
yeah,
differently. So it's like it's sort of like a encyclopedia, like it's organized
totally.
in a way that is very practical and for purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this whole idea of the word proud, like the Latin word proud that comes up
Yeah,
times, and that for
proud flesh.
for like, and also in proud flesh, which is interesting. I didn't think about that. Yeah, but proud is also related, like homonym wise, to the word for like to embroider in Irish, and then it's also related to the ancient word in Latin. Proud didn't mean proud. It meant um, to be of use, to be useful.
That's cool. Hold on. Adria has twin cities in both France and Germany and Belgium. I wonder
Oh,
where. One of them is near Douan. Airmont. Oh shit. Just exited out of it. That's weird. Oh shit. It's already after 1?
yeah, I gotta go. Oh no.
I do too. I gotta put the baby down. All right. We'll talk again
Oh my
soon.
god. Say hi to Ophelia for me. This was so
I
fun.
will.
I
I had a
can't see it.
blast.
So many tabs.
All right. Wow. I'll keep going. I'll
Yeah,
text you probably later.
I'm refreshed whenever.
All right.
I will. This is recorded.
Mhm.
this was so fun. I feel like major breakthrough. But I'll definitely save this, and then it would honestly be so cool to just like post this if you wanted.
I would love to. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. All right, so I'll let you know if that's a thing. I think this was really fun, and
Yeah.
I have so much more to look into. It's like every door opens up like a million other doors.
Completely. And then I forget about the few doors back that I wanted to go back to.
Me too. All right, well,
Right.
have a lovely day.
You
Happy
too.
Hallelujah. Bye.